Have you ever sat in quiet frustration, wondering why, despite your unwavering faith, your heart full of compassion, and your deep desire to serve God, you still wrestle with financial lack? Why is it that those who are chosen, those anointed for divine purpose, often walk through seasons of poverty, while others seem to flourish effortlessly? What if I told you that your financial struggle might not be a punishment, but a preparation? Not a curse, but a calling? What if your current hardship is God's strategic training ground to shape you for something far greater? In this video, we're going to unveil the powerful, often overlooked truth behind why so many of God's chosen ones face financial adversity. And I promise, this message has the potential to shift your mindset, rekindle your faith, and realign your soul with divine purpose. So lean in. Take a deep breath. This could change everything. When you're faithfully walking with God, praying fervently, serving others, and still struggling to make ends meet, it can be deeply discouraging. The world may whisper, "Where is your God now?" But beloved, don't be deceived. Financial lack is not a sign that God has abandoned you. It may actually be the very evidence that He is at work in your life. God often uses lack as a divine classroom, a place where we're stripped of distractions, humbled in our desires, and drawn closer to His heart. The absence of abundance is not a void. It's a vessel through which God shapes our dependence on Him. Just as the Israelites were sustained by manna in the wilderness, not riches or possessions, we too are invited to rely not on material wealth, but on divine provision. God isn't seeking your riches. He's seeking your relationship. In a world that idolizes financial success, He invites His chosen ones to live counterculturally, anchored not in assets, but in abiding trust. Wealth, while not inherently wrong, can become a dangerous crutch, one that subtly replaces faith with self-reliance. That's why God allows seasons of financial strain, not to hurt us, but to remind us where our true security lies. When you have nothing left but Him, you discover that He is, and has always been, everything you need. And in that sacred revelation, trust is born. Financial struggle has a way of revealing what lies beneath the surface. When money is scarce, our motives are tested. Are we serving God because we love Him, or because we expect a blessing in return? It's easy to lift our hands in worship when the bills are paid. But what about when the bank account is empty? God uses these moments not to shame us, but to refine us. Just as gold is purified in fire, our character is purified in trials. Through lack, God reveals the truth of our devotion. Are we chasing after wealth, or after His will? Jesus said clearly in Matthew 6:24, "You cannot serve both God and money." The refining fire of financial pressure helps us choose, helps us surrender. God isn't withholding wealth out of anger. He's watching to see if our hearts can handle the blessing when it comes. Let's be honest. Blessing without preparation can become a burden. Some of us are praying for financial abundance, but we haven't yet developed the wisdom or spiritual maturity to manage it. Like the prodigal son who squandered his early inheritance, receiving too much too soon can derail what God intends to build. So, in His mercy, God delays the release of wealth, not as punishment, but as preparation. He's cultivating responsibility, patience, and humility in you. Because when you're spiritually ready, what once would have ruined you will instead be used to build others and glorify Him. What if your financial hardship isn't the result of mismanagement or lack of effort, but a direct attack from the enemy? Sometimes, the reason you're facing intense resistance isn't because you're doing something wrong, but because you're walking in divine purpose. Satan doesn't go after the indifferent. He targets the influential. He knows that if you gain access to financial resources, you'll use them to uplift others, fund kingdom work, and shatter generational strongholds. So he throws up roadblocks, delays, and discouragement, hoping to wear you down. But take heart. This isn't defeat. It's confirmation that you're dangerous to darkness. As Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil. Your financial battle is spiritual warfare in disguise. And though the struggle is real, so is your authority in Christ. Before God promotes, he prepares. Just as David tended sheep in isolation before becoming king, and Joseph endured prison before the palace, your current season of lack may be God's training ground for leadership. The wilderness feels barren, but it's where character is cultivated. It's where you learn to hear God's voice above the noise, to trust him when nothing else makes sense. Romans 5:3-4 tells us suffering builds perseverance, character, and hope. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Your wilderness is not a wasteland, it's a workshop for destiny. Not all delay is denial. Sometimes it's divine protection. Wealth can bless, but it can also blind. The same abundance that opens doors can, if we're not prepared, pull our hearts away from God. Scripture warns us in Proverbs 16:18, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." God, in his wisdom, may be withholding financial abundance to shield you from what you cannot yet see, the temptation of pride, the illusion of self-sufficiency, the slow drift away from dependence on him. He's not keeping riches from you to limit your life, but to guard your soul. Some of the greatest spiritual downfalls begin with unchecked success. So when God says not yet, it's not rejection, it's mercy. It's his loving hedge around your heart until it's strong enough to carry the weight of wealth without being crushed by it. When finances dry up, it forces us to ask deeper questions. Why am I really here? What does God want from my life? In seasons of financial struggle, God often shifts our focus from chasing profit to fulfilling purpose. Colossians 3:2 urges us to set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. When money loses its grip, our vision clears. We begin to seek eternal value over temporary gain. Financial lack can be a sacred redirection, a moment where God calls you back to what truly matters: your purpose, your calling, and his kingdom. God often allows his chosen ones to experience the pain they will one day heal in others. Financial struggle, while painful, has a holy purpose. It softens your heart. It teaches you to see people not through the lens of judgment, but with eyes of compassion. 2 Corinthians 1:4 tells us that God comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble. That unpaid bill, that grocery list you couldn't afford, that anxious prayer whispered in the dark. They're not just moments of hardship, they are lessons in mercy. When you've walked through lack, you understand the weight of it. You recognize the silent tears, the hidden stress, the quiet shame others carry. And that's when God begins to shape you, not just into someone who's been helped, but into someone who helps. This struggle isn't just about you, it's about your family line. Some of the pressure you're feeling is because you've been chosen to break what others accepted. Generational patterns of debt, poverty, and poor stewardship. Galatians 3:13 says that Christ has redeemed us from the curse. But breaking those chains sometimes means walking through the fire they came from. You are the cycle breaker. The one who, through faith, wisdom, and spiritual maturity, will set a new standard. Your pain has purpose. It's forging a legacy where blessing, not bondage, is passed down through your name. It's in the fire that gold is purified, and in trials that faith is refined. Financial hardship has a way of burning away the illusions we cling to. Self-reliance, pride, the false security of possessions. When everything is stripped away, what remains is the foundation God is working on, your faith. 1 Peter 1:6-7 reminds us that our faith, tested through trials, is of greater worth than gold. In the midst of financial lack, when you're forced to lean on God day by day, your faith is no longer theory. It becomes life-giving reality. This season is not pointless pain, it's holy refinement. It's God shaping you into someone who is not only strong enough to carry blessing, but pure enough to carry his presence with it. Sometimes the door isn't locked, it just hasn't opened yet. You may feel ready, but God sees the whole picture. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Delay is not always denial, it's often divine alignment. While you're waiting, God is orchestrating. He's preparing the right relationships, opportunities, and circumstances to match your calling. So if the blessing hasn't arrived, it's not because you've been forgotten. It's because God is too precise to release something too soon. Trust His timing. It is never rushed, never late, but always perfect. It's easy to have faith when your fridge is full, your bills are paid, and your future looks bright. But real faith, the kind that pleases God, is forged when you're walking through uncertainty, when your bank account is empty, and all you have left is a promise. 2 Corinthians 5:7 reminds us, we walk by faith, not by sight. In this season of financial strain, God is teaching you what it truly means to trust Him, not just with your worship on Sunday, but with your survival on Monday. When the numbers don't add up and the breakthrough seems delayed, He invites you into a deeper walk, a life anchored not in what you can see, but in who He is. This isn't just about provision, it's about perspective. God is building in you a faith that holds firm, not because of what you have, but because of who holds you. Let's be honest, some financial struggle comes not from spiritual warfare, but from poor stewardship. There were seasons when God provided, and the resources were misused, mishandled, or spent without wisdom. Luke 16:10 teaches us, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. God isn't punishing you, He's training you. He's resetting your heart and priorities so that next time you don't just receive blessings, you steward them with purpose. This is your reset season. Learn, grow, prepare. Because the next time God blesses you, it won't be wasted. True contentment doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less when you already have Christ. In seasons of financial lack, God teaches us a powerful secret. Joy isn't found in abundance, but in abiding. The Apostle Paul declared in Philippians 4:12-13, I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. That kind of peace isn't natural, it's supernatural. And it's forged in seasons just like the one you're in. When the world tells you that your worth is tied to wealth, God gently reminds you that your true treasure is in Him. This season is not about what's missing in your hands, but about what He's placing in your heart. A quiet strength, a steady peace, and a satisfaction that no amount of money can buy. Some callings require sacrifice before reward. God may have assigned you to a mission, a ministry, or a movement that doesn't come with financial comfort, at least not yet, and that's not by accident. Matthew 6:33 says, Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Right now, your poverty may be purposeful. It's refining your motives, testing your faith, and ensuring that your yes to God isn't tied to a paycheck. This season won't last forever, but it's necessary. Because when the provision does come, your heart will be ready to handle it, not for your glory, but for His. Dear friend, if you've been walking through a season of financial struggle, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not forgotten, not cursed, and certainly not broken. You are being built. This season is not the end. It's the foundation. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. He is refining your faith, aligning your heart, shaping your character, and setting you apart for a greater purpose. What feels like delay is actually divine strategy. What feels like loss is making room for something eternal. You were never meant to be defined by your bank account. Your worth is rooted in your identity as a child of God. So hold on, stand firm, and trust the process. Thank you for spending these moments with us today. If this message encouraged your heart or helped you see your struggle in a new light, we invite you to subscribe to this channel. There are more faith-filled, uplifting, and truth-centered messages coming your way, and we'd be honored to walk this journey with you. Have you ever found yourself wandering alone, unseen, unappreciated, misunderstood, while others seem to thrive in relationships, wealth, and validation? Have you ever questioned why, despite your kindness, brilliance, and sincerity, you seem to repel the very things you deeply long for: connection, support, and financial stability? If this resonates with your soul, you're not alone. You may be walking the path of the chosen one, a rare individual set apart for a higher calling. While the world applauds surface-level success, your spirit answers to a deeper, divine rhythm. But this sacred path is not paved with ease. It is marked by solitude, struggle, and spiritual transformation. In this message, we will explore why chosen ones often find themselves alone or broke, and why these very hardships may be preparations, not punishments. We will uncover the spiritual mechanics behind isolation and financial hardship, and why they may be the most powerful tools for shaping your divine destiny. The loneliness that many chosen ones feel is not random. It is spiritual in nature. You carry within you a radiant inner light. This light isn't visible to the eye, but it pulses through your energy field, affecting everyone around you. You may notice that strangers open up to you easily. Or perhaps, you've seen people admire you from afar, only to distance themselves inexplicably later. Why does this happen? Your presence exposes what lies hidden. Like a lantern in a dark room, your spirit doesn't just light up beauty, it illuminates insecurities, unresolved pain, and suppressed truths in others. Many people are simply not ready to face themselves, so they retreat. You become a mirror. And in that mirror, people see what they're not ready to heal. For the chosen ones, isolation is not just a phase. It is a sacred rite of passage. The universe often pulls you away from the noise of the world so you can hear the whispers of your soul. In this quiet, you confront your hidden wounds, cultivate your spiritual gifts, and deepen your connection with the divine. While others may see your solitude as emptiness, it is actually divine preparation. You are being shaped, refined, and made ready, not just to survive this world, but to rise within it as a vessel of truth, healing, and transformation. As a chosen one, your energy speaks before you do. It carries a frequency of truth, depth, and awakening, one that resonates with the divine but often unsettles those still rooted in fear, ego, or superficiality. People may not understand why they feel uneasy around you, but your presence stirs something within them they aren't ready to face. This energetic mismatch creates distance. You may feel rejected without reason or isolated despite your kindness. But this separation isn't personal. It's spiritual. Your vibration simply doesn't align with the patterns most people still live by. And that, too, is part of your calling. Chosen ones often carry a powerful, healing energy, one that uplifts those around them without even trying. People feel better in your presence, drawn to your compassion, wisdom, and calm. But not everyone comes with the intention to give back. Many arrive only to receive, unconsciously leaning on your light while offering little in return. This creates an energetic imbalance. Over time, you may feel emotionally drained, anxious, or even resentful without understanding why. It's not that you're doing too much, it's that others are doing too little. When relationships become one-sided, your soul instinctively retreats, not out of pride, but protection. You begin to choose solitude over connection, not from bitterness, but from the need to preserve your sacred energy. When constantly surrounded by people who take more than they give, the soul grows weary. For chosen ones, solitude is not loneliness, it's a form of healing. It becomes the necessary space where your spirit can breathe freely, away from the weight of emotional imbalance and energetic drain. Over time, you begin to choose solitude intentionally, not because you fear connection, but because you value peace. In the quiet, you recharge, reflect, and realign with your higher self. This isn't isolation for the sake of hiding. It's protection for the sacred light within you, and preparation for relationships that truly honor your energy. Chosen ones often feel out of place in a world driven by profit and competition. While others are motivated by status, possessions, or financial gain, your spirit longs for purpose, truth, and alignment. You were not created to chase money. You were created to serve something greater. Because of this, you may pass up high-paying opportunities that conflict with your values. You might choose paths that feel fulfilling to your soul but offer little material reward. This doesn't mean you lack ambition. It means your definition of success is different. You're not here to accumulate wealth. You're here to embody wisdom, healing, and light. Traditional paths to wealth often demand competition, self-promotion, and a focus on material gain, frequencies that may feel foreign to a chosen one. Your soul resonates with higher vibrations, healing, creating, teaching, and serving. These callings, while rich in purpose, don't always bring immediate financial rewards. This disconnect creates an inner tension. You may feel pressure to conform, yet every attempt to follow conventional methods leaves you feeling empty or misaligned. The truth is, your energy simply doesn't sync with systems built on ego and greed. You're not meant to follow old models. You're here to forge new ones that honor both your spirit and your purpose. Many chosen ones carry financial burdens that reach far beyond their own lives. Scarcity isn't just circumstantial, it's often inherited. Generations of poverty, fear, and lack embed themselves in your energy field, passed down like invisible chains through family lines. You may struggle with limiting beliefs about money without knowing why. Deep within, there could be patterns whispering, "I don't deserve abundance," or "there will never be enough." These are not your truths, they are inherited wounds. But you were chosen to break the cycle. Healing these patterns may feel heavy, but it frees not only you, it frees those who came before, and those yet to come. For chosen ones, financial struggles are rarely about failure. They are often divine tests of trust. When the path seems uncertain and your needs feel unmet, the universe isn't abandoning you, it's refining you. These seasons of lack are invitations to anchor your faith not in material certainty, but in spiritual provision. You're being asked, will you trust the unseen when nothing physical seems secure? In this surrender, your resilience deepens, your inner wealth grows, and eventually, abundance flows. Not as a reward for striving, but as a response to alignment. These struggles are not meant to destroy you. They are sacred training for a greater mission ahead. In a world obsessed with titles, possessions, and external validation, chosen ones often find themselves walking a different path. You measure success not by how much you own, but by how deeply you live. For you, wealth is found in peace, purpose, and spiritual fulfillment, not in numbers or accolades. This shift in perspective can feel isolating. You may be misunderstood by those chasing superficial gains. Yet, your soul knows the truth. A life rich in love, wisdom, and impact is far more meaningful than one overflowing with status. You're here not to reflect society's values, but to help awaken it to something far deeper and more enduring. You weren't sent here to fit into the world as it is. You were born to help transform it. As systems built on fear, greed, and illusion begin to crack, your vision, values, and voice become more essential than ever. You carry the blueprint for something new, one rooted in compassion, truth, and spiritual wisdom. Every hardship you've faced has been preparing you for this purpose. The loneliness, the lack, the rejection, they've carved out space within you for deeper strength and divine clarity. You are not here to conform. You are here to lead. And when the time is right, your light will help build the world your soul has always known is possible. Dear soul, your struggles are not signs of failure. They are sacred signs of becoming. The isolation you feel, the financial weight you carry, and the sense of being different from the world, these are not punishments. They are divine preparations. You are being refined, strengthened, and awakened for a purpose greater than you can yet imagine. You are not lost. You are in the making. Thank you for walking this journey with us. If this message speaks to your spirit, we invite you to subscribe and join our growing community of chosen ones. Together, we rise through truth, through healing, and through light. Don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay connected for more messages that nourish your soul. Peace and light to you. Have you ever felt like you're walking through life alone, surrounded by people yet emotionally isolated? You try to connect, but something always feels misaligned. If this resonates with you, know this: you are not broken. You're chosen. Solitude, for those with a unique inner light, is not a punishment. It is a sacred process. The world may not see you, understand you, or walk with you, but the universe is preparing you. This is not just another self-help message. This is a revelation. A call to embrace the profound spiritual reality that the chosen ones, those born with heightened awareness, deep intuition, and transformative energy, often find themselves alone. And there are divine reasons for this. Let us journey through the 7 profound reasons why the chosen walk alone and how this solitude is, in truth, a sacred training ground for your ultimate purpose. Chosen ones carry a powerful frequency: light, wisdom, authenticity. This energy radiates outward, touching everyone you encounter. But there's a hidden burden. Not everyone can handle your light. Most people unconsciously absorb your energy without offering anything in return. Friends, family, partners, some will cling to your spirit for healing, joy, or strength, but give little back. Over time, this creates a profound imbalance. You may feel drained, misunderstood, or even emotionally exhausted, yet unsure why. The reality is simple. Not everyone is capable of matching your vibrational frequency. While your presence uplifts others, it also stirs discomfort. Your light reveals what they are hiding from: their fears, their shadows, their lies. So many will either pull away or unknowingly siphon your energy. That's why you may find yourself retreating. It's not that you're cold. It's that you're protecting your sacred essence. You are not meant to share your soul with everyone. Only with those who respect your light and can walk beside you with mutual energy exchange. Until that person arrives, solitude becomes your sanctuary. The chosen ones are born with a divine mission to uplift, guide, and heal. You're the one people come to when they're lost. You offer wisdom beyond your years. You bring peace into chaos. But when you need help, who is there? Rarely anyone. Why? Because few can reach your depth. Your empathy, your emotional intelligence, your soul-level understanding, these are rare gifts. But they also create a spiritual loneliness, where even in a crowd, you feel unseen. You offer yourself fully, yet receive fragments. Your emotional needs go unmet, not because you're unworthy, but because most people are not equipped to meet you where you are. Still, this loneliness is not in vain. It is an invitation, a doorway to find others like you. Other souls who have walked through fire and emerged with hearts still open. But such connections take time. And in that waiting, your soul learns to become self-sufficient, whole, and deeply rooted in its own truth. To be chosen is to carry both light and wounds. Often, your past is riddled with trauma: childhood pain, betrayals, abandonment, loss. These aren't random. They're part of the molding, the sacred breaking that awakens your calling. But before you can lead, you must heal. And healing of this depth cannot happen in noise or distraction. It needs stillness, silence, solitude. In the quiet, past memories rise. The child within you cries. Emotional debris surfaces, not to haunt you, but to be acknowledged and transformed. And this work, this deep soul surgery, is best done alone. You may withdraw from relationships not because you're afraid of love, but because you recognize that love without healing is chaos. And you've had enough of chaos. Solitude is where you meet your shadows, where you learn to forgive, release, and become new. This is not weakness, it's sacred strength. And when you rise from this healing, you emerge with the capacity to love more deeply than ever before. Chosen ones do not desire shallow bonds. You crave soul-level connection, a union where energies merge, purpose aligns, and silence is sacred. This kind of relationship cannot be rushed. It's not found on dating apps or in fleeting moments. It is divinely orchestrated. The partner you seek is being prepared, just as you are. They are walking their own sacred path, learning their lessons, healing their wounds, and raising their frequency. Until you both are ready, truly ready, the universe will keep you apart. Not to punish, but to protect. A relationship before alignment is a recipe for pain. So, this period of solitude is a time to deepen your self-awareness, to discover what truly resonates with your soul, to become whole, not waiting for someone to complete you, but ready to complement another whole being. When the time is right, your paths will cross, effortlessly, authentically, and you'll realize the waiting wasn't punishment, it was divine preparation. Chosen ones feel deeply, so when you're hurt, The scars run deep. Betrayals from lovers, rejections from family, mockery from peers, these experiences often leave lingering fears. And so, you build walls, emotional barriers, not because you're cold, but because you've bled too much. You've given your heart to the wrong hands. Now you protect it. And while this may keep some people out, it also gives you space to heal. There's no shame in being cautious. You're not bitter. You're wise. And until someone shows you they are safe, consistent, and energetically aligned, you have every right to remain guarded. But in time, those walls will become gates, and only those with pure intentions will pass through. To be chosen means you're here for more than just survival. You're here for a mission, a divine purpose that requires strength, focus, and resilience. Solitude, then, is not isolation. It is initiation. In the stillness, you hear divine whispers. In the quiet, you develop gifts, intuition, discernment, creativity, leadership. These traits must be sharpened before you can step into your full calling. Relationships, while beautiful, can distract from this inner forging. That's why the universe removes unnecessary ties. It simplifies your path so you can focus on becoming who you were born to be. And as you grow, you begin to notice the shift. You no longer crave what others have. You are rooted in something deeper, your divine identity. This preparation isn't forever, but it is necessary. And when the time comes, you'll step into your destiny with clarity, knowing exactly who you are and what you came to do. You see beyond the surface. You hear what's not said. You feel what others try to hide. Your presence alone can trigger people, not because you're wrong, but because you reflect their truths back to them. Most people are not ready for this level of depth. They prefer masks, performances, shallow talk. But you crave realness. You want conversations that feed your soul, connections that transcend time, love that heals lifetimes. But these desires can intimidate those still trapped in superficial living. So they pull away, or they try to diminish your intensity. They say you're too much, too sensitive, too emotional, too deep. Let them go. You were never meant to dim your light to fit in. Your soul was crafted to shine, to shake foundations, to awaken others, even if it means walking alone. So if you feel alone, misunderstood, or unwanted, know this: you are not alone in your loneliness. You are being sculpted by the divine. Your solitude is shaping your spirit, aligning your energy, and preparing your heart for something greater. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better than others. It means you're called for more. Called to live authentically, to love deeply, and to serve with purpose. And while the path may feel lonely now, it won't be forever. There are others like you, souls scattered across the world, carrying light in silence, waiting for the moment to rise. Trust the process, trust the isolation, and most of all, trust your soul. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. And when the time comes, your light will attract those who see you, value you, and walk beside you as equals. Until then, walk alone, but walk proud. Because you are not lost. You are being led. Thank you for walking this journey with us. If this message speaks to your spirit, we invite you to subscribe and join our growing community of chosen ones. Together, we rise. Through truth, through healing, and through light. Don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay connected for more messages that nourish your soul. Peace and light to you.